What if the story you are afraid to tell is the story that sets you free? Janet woke before the alarm, the room still dark. She already knew. For years, this moment had meant panic, shame, a race against time. But this morning, she didn't move right away. She lay still, breathing, listening to the quiet, remembering Grace's voice from the weekend. This happened to me too, and I found a way through it. Janet sat up slowly. Yes, it had happened again, but something inside her had changed. The fear no longer shouted, it whispered. She cleaned up calmly, no rushing, no anger, no insults thrown at herself. Standing by the window, she asked herself a question she had never dared to ask before. What if my body isn't trying to embarrass me, but asking for help? That question stayed with her all day. For the first time in her life, Janet decided to stop guessing and start learning. She spoke to a medical professional. Her voice shook at first, but she spoke anyway. She expected judgment. She expected disbelief. She received neither. Instead, she received explanations. She learned that adult bedwetting is more common than people admit, that it can be linked to deep sleep patterns, childhood stress, anxiety, hormonal cycles, bladder signaling, or the nervous system holding on to old survival habits. She learned something else that changed everything. Shame makes symptoms worse. Fear keeps the body stuck. Understanding creates room for healing. Tests were done, questions were asked. Nothing dramatic, nothing frightening, just clarity. This isn't your fault, the doctor said, and it's not hopeless. Janet felt tears rise, not from sadness, but relief. But medicine wasn't the only answer. Janet learned that healing required her participation too. She learned practical things: how to manage fluids without punishing herself, how to build a nighttime routine that reduced anxiety, how to protect herself quietly without shame, how to prepare instead of panic, not to hide, to care. She learned that avoiding sleepovers, travel, and closeness had been protecting her from embarrassment, but also stealing her life. So she made a promise to herself: I will not disappear to stay safe. She would prepare wisely, not hide desperately. She would choose dignity, not denial. Healing did not come overnight. Some nights were dry, some nights weren't. But something important happened. The nights no longer defined her mornings, and the mornings no longer defined her worth. As her anxiety eased, her body responded. Episodes became less frequent, her sleep became lighter, her confidence grew. One morning, she woke up dry and simply smiled. Another morning, she didn't and still smiled. That was freedom. Janet traveled again. She stayed over. She laughed without calculating exits. She chose honesty with people who deserved her truth and privacy where it was wise. She stopped living as if discovery would destroy her, because it no longer could. One night, lying in bed, she realized something profound. Her life had not been on pause. She had just been afraid to live it. Janet's story did not end with a miracle cure. It ended with something stronger: understanding, support, preparation, self-respect. And because of that, her body slowly followed. She closed her eyes peacefully. No fear, no shame, no disappearance, just rest. Pain grows in silence. Healing begins with truth. What if the thing you are hiding isn't your shame, but your invitation to heal? Have you ever been hiding something because you were afraid of being judged? What if the thing you are most ashamed of is not a failure, but a sign that you need support? How much of your life have you avoided just to protect a secret? The end. Thanks for watching. Please drop your opinion on the comment section.